Hey everyone, I am Jono, the creative director of Karma Jack, and I am with my wonderful friend
Nawal Alsaeed, founder and CEO of Studyus Monday.
And what we want to do today is talk about an awesome, interesting business because there's a very specific demographic that we're going after, and it's not necessarily what you would think. There's a whole play with public schools, organizations. It's not direct to consumer like a lot of things.
Yes.
So
yes.
Can you walk me through past version of Studyus Monday and how that's changed to now?
The past version of Studyus Monday was direct to consumer. We were like, okay, we're gonna make modest clothes, and there's a huge market, and we know our demographic because I am her. It just, things weren't aligning. There was a lot of digging there. There was a lot of uncovering and a lot of research and realizations, honestly. And now Studyus Monday is still about making clothes. The demographic just became more specific. So it's about making clothes for Muslim kids. And the best way to attract the Muslim kids is to be a part of their day-to-day. And their day-to-day is school. So that's where we're at right now. To reach your audience in the modesty apparel world, you cannot think of your customer as a demographic, but it's essentially a psychographic. If you target your audience through demographics such as race, color, age, you're really limiting yourself, because modesty is open to everybody, and modesty is a spectrum. And it's essentially a woman and a man's frame of thinking. It's the way they perceive themselves. It's the way they perceive their body. So modesty is it's very deep, right? And that's what I've learned over the 5 years. Yes, I've been a practicing modest woman, since I came of age. And it's so much easier said than done to say, I am her and I know her. I am her and I know her, yes, I do it, but there's so much more to her. There's so much more to her, and there's so much more to modesty. And Studyus Monday has really helped uncover that for me. Studyus Monday was born out of my own personal experiences and the lack thereof. Never once could I find a magazine with a girl that looked like me in there. And it was sad. It was really sad. And I just never believed that fashion was for me, or being stylish was for me. I just automatically assumed that, okay, since I'm going to be a modest girl or a modest woman, then it means that I have to completely detach from the world. I have to completely detach from society, or I have to completely detach from color altogether. And I was like, that's not a way to live. There's no way. That's not what modesty is about. I know modesty. I live it. I've studied it. I was like, I'm going to change that. I'm going to change that, and I'm going to show a different perspective, because that's essentially what it takes. It just takes a new lens. There are particular design elements that go into a product for modest apparel. Right here, the cuff, the placket. Button-up shirts typically have this placket where there's an opening, right? For a modest woman like me, that's not okay. This needs to be completely covered, but I still need to have access to be able to roll up my sleeves. For a modest woman, why did I have to sacrifice functionality for my modesty? So these elements are what I bring to the product making, what my experience brings to the product making, and all of these things matter, and they've been resonating. So I know it works.
Kind of walk us through your product line. How do you do drops? How do you sell your product?
We have 5 key pieces. Last year, we created a whole collection. Different kinds of shirts, different kinds of tunics and tops and bottoms, and we learned that we really had to narrow it down because we were going after schools and organizations, right? So schools and organizations don't want to be flustered with so many options. For them, it wasn't so much about the product. They're like, listen, we don't want to have to worry about the clothes that the kids are wearing. We want to make sure that they have options. We want to make sure these girls, in particular, have these options, but we're not a retail shop. Our focus is education. Our focus is the school. And I'm like, no problem. We narrowed it down to 5 key pieces that the students, the focus groups that we were doing, were really, they were attracted to. So we have a button-down tunic, we have a ruffle tunic, we have a basic pant, and then we have one-piece dresses. So we have a utility dress and we have a classic button-up dress. We created a direct-to-consumer retail site, as well as a wholesale that both schools and organizations, as well as, you know, families and people can go into those two different portals and order online. Very simple.
I've learned that, especially like in coffee world. So we started during COVID, and all of our friends' coffee shops were just going out of business.
Yeah.
So we're like, let's be the Amazon of coffee, and we'll just go direct. And it took off very quick because, again, it was,
wow,
the market made sense for that.
Yeah.
Over time, it was wholesale is more profitable.
Yes.
And it's self-sustaining. And then there's like almost like a bigger habitual thing.
Yeah.
So like you were talking about with, if I'm going to school, I'm thinking about what I'm going to wear at school.
Yeah.
This is part of my day, every day.
Yep.
If I'm waking up to go to work, for me, it's, I need to have coffee or else. Like,
yes.
And regardless of the thing you drink or what you wear, it's rituals are what makes our lives more simple because we don't have to think about everything else.
Yeah, nicely put.
Clearly you love what you do, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you for letting us be here.
Thank you so much.